I was trying so hard to make everybody happy and I was bending over backwards, and at the end of the day I wasn't happy and they weren't happy. So what did I gain? Hi, I'm EJ. I had a micro wedding and nearly planned a luxury one until my planner scammed me. People keep asking if I'll do a big wedding party, so today I'm sharing my take on luxury versus micro weddings. Okay, let's talk wedding costs. So wedding can get really expensive really quickly. We're talking 40k venues, $10,000 dresses, and before you know it, you're spending a small fortune on a one-day event. Ooh. I love how this looks. My skin looks radiant. I'm trying out a new moisturizer from Prada. When it comes to designer skincare, I'm like, is it worth it? But this is really good. So prior to planning my own wedding, I had no idea how expensive everything was going to be. And when I tell you I had the biggest sticker shock of my life, I was so shocked to see the prices of things, and I genuinely almost fell out of my chair when I was told that my $20,000 budget for florals was not enough and I needed to up it to 25k. I was like, $25,000 for flowers? Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
Anyway, I just feel like the wedding industry can be incredibly exploitative, and that's just my opinion. Okay, I think they take advantage of the fact that it's a once in a lifetime experience, and you know, people kind of get illogical when emotions come into the equation, and it's made to be like as if this is the most important party that you're ever going to throw. People just lose their minds collectively, both us the people having the wedding and them, the people providing the services. I feel like we all just lose our minds a little bit. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about the kind of wedding that I wanted or didn't want. So I personally never wanted like a big fat Nigerian wedding. If you know me in real life, you know that I'm actually very introverted and I get overwhelmed by big crowds and like tons of noise and just too much stimulation. I get overstimulated very easily. And while I typically don't mind attending Nigerian weddings as a guest, because you know, one thing about me, when my social battery runs out, I do an Irish goodbye. But when you're the bride, you can't exactly leave your own wedding unnoticed. And because of that reason, for me, like big Nigerian weddings with like 400 people that go on for 10 hours have always seemed like a nightmare to me as a bride. Like that is literally my own personal idea of hell. Is it just me? Where are my fellow introverted Nigerian brides? Because I cannot be the only person that feels this way. Okay, I love this glow recipe. What's it? Watermelon and cinnamon dewy flush. Very pretty. But if you know how it is with African weddings. I feel like they are rarely about the couple, and I feel like there's always opinions from people on how things should be or what the wedding should look like. There's always someone who wants to turn it into a family reunion, and before you know it, you're at like a 400 person guest list and the couple only knows like 50 people. Anyway, ultimately we decided to do 2 weddings. So we decided on a micro court wedding that was just the 2 of us and the judge, and then a bigger wedding party for our family, friends, extended family, etc. And honestly, I loved our intimate court micro wedding. So we got dressed at home together, drove to the courthouse, said our vows. The judge that officiated the wedding was so nice. The wedding was intimate and meaningful to me. It was just the 2 of us. We weren't worrying about guest lists and reception and other people's food and all the 100 things that you worry about when you're throwing a party for other people. Basically, I didn't feel like I was a hostess, and I just felt like I could actually enjoy the wedding without any distractions. We said our vows and then we got some pictures and we went out to a dinner that was just the 2 of us. It was really beautiful. By the way, this is new Kosas setting powder and I've been loving it so far. I wore it on Valentine's Day for dinner and I loved how it made my skin look. Anyway, we were able to have a nice dinner. It was just the 2 of us and we really took that moment to bask in the fact that we just got married and we're about to spend the rest of our lives together, and it just felt really good for it to just be the 2 of us. I had zero stress that day. I didn't have to plan anything or worry about anyone else or deal with any drama. It was truly just us. If I could do it over again, this would be the only wedding that we would have had, because whoo child, let me tell you about all the drama that ensued when we tried to plan a big wedding party. So we started planning our wedding party after the intimate court wedding, and can I just say that weddings bring out the worst in everyone. I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of stress, entitlement, disappointment, infantilization, and unsolicited feedback that I experienced during this whole wedding planning process. It was crazy. The whole thing was an absolute nightmare, honestly. I was so miserable during the planning of this whole wedding party, and I really tried to put a brave face on it, but to be honest, it sucked all the joy out of my proposal and the court wedding that we had. I just felt so drained. Eventually, I decided for my sanity to just mentally check out of the process. I was like, you know what, I got the intimate wedding I wanted, so I'm not going to let whatever is happening here bother me. I'm just going to let it be what it is. So we ended up, selecting a venue here in Houston that I wasn't really happy with, because to be honest, I thought the wedding venue that we ended up choosing was ugly AF, and it just did not feel representative of who I was, and it's not something that I would have chosen left for myself. But at that point, I was really just tired. I was ready to get it over and done with. The wedding was clearly no longer about me or what I wanted, and it had been hijacked by societal expectations and turned into a circus. So I just said, you know what, I don't think this is a fight that is worth it to me anymore. So I just said, whatever, let's just do whatever and get it over and done with. I didn't even know that the worst was yet to come, because tell me why my wedding planner turned out to be a scammer. I don't even want to get into the details, because if you know, you know. I already talked about this online, on TikTok and Instagram, and I don't really want to rehash the details, but the only part of the story that's relevant to this video is that my wedding planner took money from us to pay the venue, and she never paid the venue that money. And that whole incident has changed the way that I interact with people financially. Like, I'm never ever going to give somebody money meant for somebody else. Like, just do direct financial transactions. That's what I've been doing moving forward. But yeah, that was ultimately what caused the wedding to not hold. So after we found out that the wedding planner scammed us, I honestly just took it as a sign to just scrap the whole wedding. Planning a big wedding just drove it home for me that I actually did not want to be a bride at a big wedding. And since we already had a court wedding, I honestly wasn't too pressed about it. I was ready to just move on to the next phase of my life. Given my own personal experience, I think micro weddings are amazing, to be honest. It was the only part of the wedding/wedding planning process that I personally enjoyed, and it's actually probably the only thing that's about the couple. You can be in the moment and truly enjoy it, especially if you're an introvert and you get overstimulated or drained by dealing with a ton of people. I honestly feel like micro weddings are the way to go. And mind you, micro weddings don't have to just be you and your spouse. It can be you and just your inner circle, to be honest. Just like whoever you love the most, whoever is nearest and dearest to you. Lavish weddings with like a bigger guest count can be great if you have the personality for it. I personally don't have the personality for it, but I know some people who have done it and they seem to have enjoyed it. So, to each their own. But in my opinion, I think it's very hard to achieve intimacy when there is a large guest count, and when there's also the presence of people that the couple doesn't personally know at the wedding. But again, that's just my opinion. So, would I splurge on a lavish wedding again in the future? I will never do such a thing.
I will never do such a thing.
Okay, on a more serious note, no, I would never splurge on a lavish wedding. I just don't think it's worth it to me, because of who I am. And it's not even necessarily because of the cost, because let's face it, like, micro weddings can be a luxurious experience and they can get really expensive, if you start adding in decor or a really nice venue and all those things. So to me, it's not even just about the cost. I guess it's really about the guest count for me. When I say lavish weddings moving forward, I just want you to think about like bigger guest list counts versus lower guest list counts. So here I'm taking lavish/big weddings to mean weddings with a lot of guests that you may or may not know. Okay, so number one, I think lavish or big weddings lack intimacy I personally prefer to have a meaningful, like, intimate wedding. Say for instance that you decide to do like personalized vows. I don't mind doing personalized vows in front of my very close friends, my siblings, and my family. So, and same thing on both sides, right? But if there's not a bunch of people that I've never seen and I don't know, I would feel uncomfortable being vulnerable in front of them. So that goes back to the piece where I just think big weddings lose or lack intimacy. And there's nothing wrong with performing for people if that's your thing. Attention is currency. I'm not even going to deny that, you know. And weddings are a chance for people to show off. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. But that's not my personal thing. Again, I don't want to come across as like, whatever, judgmental or whatever, because that's not the point at all. So let me rephrase. I feel like weddings are sacred and special. And I feel like sometimes with a big guest list, it turns into like performance or a party and it loses its meaning. And yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And that's not what I'm going for my own wedding. I also think lavish weddings can be stressful if you're the kind of person who gets strained or overstimulated by big crowds. Anyway, if I could do things over, what would I do? So, and what does my dream wedding look like? So my dream wedding as of right now would have been a micro court wedding, which I had, followed by intimate receptions for different groups of people, because I do understand the importance of celebrating with family and friends. I do think that matters, but I just don't like how we act like there's only one way to do that. In a perfect world, after we did the court wedding, these are the 4 receptions that I would have done. Number 1, I would have done something in the backyard of a family home here in Houston and invite our family that lives in the US to come celebrate with us. Then after that, I'll rent out a room in a really nice restaurant here in Houston, invite all our friends and have like a fun little dinner party situation. Because let me tell you, I feel like family events and friend events have completely different vibes. All of this doesn't have to happen like immediately. You can spread it out, right? But maybe about a year after the court wedding, I would have loved to go home to Lagos and have like an oceanside dinner with our family in Lagos. And this can include extended family that lives in Nigeria, you know, uncles, aunties, friends of parents who still live in Nigeria. And then 4th and final post-wedding event would have been like brunch and a beach party at a private beach in Lagos for honestly whoever can make it there. This is going to be like very laid back. All of this is going to be like very laid back, very chill, just chilling with loved ones. None of the overproduced wedding reception vibes, you know. But yeah, that's what I would have preferred. I love when people elope or do a micro wedding and have like tiny events for little pockets of loved ones. I saw someone do it on TikTok, like they eloped and then she had something with her family and then with his family and then with their friends, and it was all just beautiful and intimate, and that's the kind of thing that I would have loved to do. But anyway, that's it. We won't be having any big wedding party because that's just not my thing. I hated planning it, and I think I would hate being the bride in something like that too. So that's it. That's scrapped for now. Eventually we might have like an intimate thing with our loved ones, maybe for our 5th, 7th or 10th year wedding anniversary, but nothing anytime soon. I'm done. I'm drained. Okay, anyway, let's talk about lessons learned and what I'll do differently in the future. Number 1, please do your own research. When I booked my wedding planner, she didn't have a ton of, you know, bad press about her out there. But then when I started having issues with her, I went to her Google reviews and she had a ton of negative feedback. But all of that happened after I had already booked her. So like the feedback showed up after I booked her. So I guess I had bad timing. But yeah, please do your Google reviews, look people up. Right now she's taking down her Google web page completely, so you can't even see her Google reviews. That's all I'll say, just do your own research. Second lesson learned is watch out for red flags. So in the very early days of wedding planning, we had initially booked one venue that I eventually changed my mind about because I was just uncomfortable with how the venue looked. I wasn't happy or comfortable with it, and we had already paid the wedding planner money to pay the venue. She hadn't paid them in like 2 weeks, but in those 2 weeks I changed my mind. So at the time I took it as a good thing that, oh, thank God that she did not pay them, because if she had paid them, we would not have been able to get our money back. But the fact that it took her 2 weeks to make a payment that was already given to her, in retrospect, was a huge red flag. So just watch out for those little red flags. But yeah, saying all that to say that there's always red flags, and sometimes when you're very busy or distracted or excited, those red flags don't click till after the fact. And the third thing goes back to the red flag thing, which is stay on top of financial transactions, and don't give a third party money meant for anybody else. Like I said earlier in the video, I will never give anybody money to give somebody else ever again. That's one lesson I've definitely learned. Then the fourth lesson is, if you don't want to do something, honestly, just don't do it. I never really wanted a big wedding because I didn't want to plan a big wedding, and because of that I thought I could just hire like a luxury wedding planner, like a concierge wedding planner, just throw money at her and let her solve all my wedding planning issues. And because of that, I didn't even want to like pay all of the vendors individually. I wanted to just make one set of payments to one person and have that person handle everything. That was how I got into this mess where someone scammed me. So what I would say is, if you don't want to plan a big wedding, just don't even bother doing it, because at the end of the day, all those people that you're trying to make them happy by planning a big wedding, they're not going to contribute financially, they're not going to help you out when you get scammed. So just do what makes sense for you, honestly, and leave the rest. Because the truth is that me not wanting to be involved in the financial aspects of the wedding planning was indicative of the bigger issue, which was that I did not want to have a big wedding, and that was just the truth. And trying to circumvent that ended up backfiring. In the future, I would just say to listen to your intuition, and that is advice that I'm also going to take myself. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it, because every time I try to force myself to do something that I didn't want to do, it always comes back to bite me in the behind. Then the fifth lesson learned is, please wear what you want to wear. So my only regret from the court wedding thing was that I ended up wearing like a mauve colored dress, because I was saving the white dress for the wedding party so that it would still be special. But my very initial plan was to just have the court wedding and let that be the only kind of ceremony, and then have a reception afterwards. But I went back on that, and then because of that I wore a mauve dress, hoping that I'll be able to wear like a white dress for the wedding party, and the wedding party ended up not happening. So if I could go back in time, I would wear a white dress to the court wedding and just call it a day. Because what has happened now is that I don't actually have a picture of me in a white dress which is like the quintessential thing that you get when you have a wedding, and I don't even have that. My only saving grace in that regard is that I had actually worn like a white mini dress from Age for the proposal, so now I have a picture of me in a white dress, but it's from the proposal, not the wedding. But I still love that picture, it's so gorgeous. I was trying so hard to make everybody happy, and I was bending over backwards, and at the end of the day I wasn't happy and they weren't happy. So what did I gain? Which brings me to my sixth point. Your wedding is all about you. I know sometimes when you're like a young woman, people try to make you feel some type of way for being demanding or wanting certain things, but honestly, if your wedding day is not about you as the bride, then what is? So yeah, your wedding day is about you, and make sure that you get the things that matter to you out of that day. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And my final lesson learned is, trust your gut and stand your ground. I honestly should have just done what I wanted in the first place, which was a court wedding in a white dress and a backyard reception with loved ones. If I stuck to my original plan, I think I would have spared myself a whole lot of stress and heartache. So yeah, those are my thoughts on having a big wedding. Let me know your thoughts on having a big wedding in the comments, and you can watch this video where I talk about my engagement ring upgrade. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.